Welcome back to PSC's Tech Bytes. Today we keep on talking about the Microsoft Graph Toolkit components, and specifically I want to introduce you to the mgt-tasks component, which allows us to manage, show, edit, add, update, delete, or assign people to tasks in Microsoft Planner. The component is really customizable as all of the other MGT components. So you can hide or show the header, the content. You can define if you want to target a specific plan or a specific bucket in a plan. You can target a specific group ID and stuff like that. You can also customize the component using events when a task is added, is changed, or is clicked, or is removed. And you can customize the CSS style for rendering your component, as well as you can eventually define custom templates for the task and task details rendering. So plenty of options to customize the UI and to render the tasks of Planner through the Microsoft Graph and the MGT components. So let me move to the dev environment. Let me show you how to use this component in practice. So here I am in Planner, and I have some tasks defined in multiple buckets inside the plan. One of those tasks is urgent, all the other tasks are regular ones. And if we switch to this tab, we can see the default rendering of the MGT tasks component when you simply instantiate that component in a page. In fact, here we just have the MGT tasks component and nothing more than that. Of course, you can customize it. So, for example, you can target a specific group or a specific initial ID for a plan. In order to do that, we need to retrieve the information we are looking for. So, for example, if I will go back to my browser and go to the Graph Explorer, I can make a query for the group behind the scenes of the team in which I am, and I can see that this is the ID of the group that I'm using. So I can specify in the source code of my component that, for example, I want to target that specific group by ID. If I will go back to my page, now we can see that we just see the tasks assigned to me in the current group. And of course I can see all of them, but still in the same group in which I am. I can also dig into the plans that I have inside my group. So for example, I can make a query based on the ID of the group to retrieve the plans in that group. And I can see what the plan ID is for my plan. Or I can even query the plans and the buckets in that plan inside my group. So I can specify that in the plan I'm using right now, I want to retrieve all of the buckets. And here I can get the ID of the buckets. So by playing with these IDs, I can heavily customize the UI of the MGT tasks component. So for example, I can say that rather than targeting a specific group, I want to target a specific plan. By doing that, if I will switch back, you see now we only have the tasks of this target plan. Moreover, we can also specify that we want to have a specific bucket ID. So after the initial ID, we can specify the initial bucket ID. And if I save and refresh, I will see that I have now just the items in the done bucket, and so on and so forth. We can also customize the rendering of our items. So, for example, let me get rid of this bucket because I want to have multiple results. And inside the MGT tasks tag, I can define a template tag, and inside the template tag I can provide a custom rendering for the data type which represents the task details, for example. And I can say that I want to have a div element which will render the task title, the creation date time and due date, the start and completed date, and the priority of my task. And again, you simply need to have a look at the output of the Microsoft Graph to understand what the properties are that you can use in this rendering. If I go back now, we can see the rendering, and we can see that we have an item with high priority and all the other items with regular priority. So really simple and straightforward, like always when we use the MGT components. Like always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. And remember, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.